Hi guys, Elaine here, the Animal Reiki Lady. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you happen to be in the world. Thank you for joining me. And it is time for another reading. This one is for Peti, and I think I'm saying the name right, P-E-T-I. This is for Peti, a message for Peti, about Peti, for Peti's human. But more than that, I think it's a message that will resonate with a lot of people. There's a lot of questions that Petey's mama has asked that I think many of you have the same kind of questions. All right, so before we dive in, just a reminder for those of you who may not have caught my videos before, my name is Elaine. I'm an animal Reiki master, and I help people make deep spiritual, energetic, healing connections with the animals in their lives. And that includes animals here with us in their little physical bodies and animals who have crossed to the other side. So today's message about PD. So what I do, first of all, for those of you who question what Reiki is a system developed in Japan, a set of techniques developed in Japan back in the early 1900s, right around the turn of the century, 1900, that is designed for stress reduction, relaxation. It helps when we can reduce the stress in our body. It helps our body return to that state of balance so that it can do what it naturally knows how to do, which is heal. And now I practice that specifically with animals. It was designed for stressed out humans, but it works wonderfully for animals who have no doubts and no second guessing, no overthinking things. When they feel that sense of calm and peace, it allows their body to release stress so that they can also heal. One of the unintended consequences is that I have been able to make connections with animals who cross to the other side. I practice this through a state of meditation that quiets my mind and opens my heart, and animals from the other side began showing up for me. And that's how I have learned, especially from my beautiful Lucy, who crossed in August of 2020. My beautiful Lucy has taught me how to really make these kinds of connections as well. So today's message is for Petey, and Petey's mama had several different questions. And this included, does she visit us? And that's an easy one. I'll answer that first. Does she visit us? And then the other question was about her passing. Was it something that was planned? So did she plan how she would cross, or did it just happen? And how do these things actually happen? And euthanasia comes in there too. So when we assist our pets with their crossing, that comes up in your questions all the time. I see them all the time, those questions. It's something that really, really we hold ourselves in guilt over. We hold ourselves very, very responsible when we choose to make a decision that assists our animal in crossing. But I think part of these questions will help answer that question for you as well. And don't hesitate to keep asking those questions. And as always, if you would press the little subscribe button and the little bell notification so that you get notified when these videos, when I upload them, that would be helpful as our channel continues to grow, which it does in an amazing way. Okay, so housekeeping out of the way. Let's get to those questions for PD. The first question, does PD visit us? Easy answer. You can watch any of my videos about this topic and know that our animals do not leave our side. They don't forget about us. They don't lose patience with us. They are with us. They are our animal companions, and that goes on for infinity. Their love doesn't end. They are with us all the time. So how do you know? Well, you can go and do any of the meditations that I suggest and ask them to show you. There's different ways, and go and watch the video that we just did about over here. No, over here. Telepathic communication. And the kinds of ways that animals will try to connect with us, which happens in a variety of ways. So leave yourself wide open, not just for receiving a message, although you can through automatic writing. I love to ask my Lucy questions, and I just start writing as I feel these thoughts come into my mind. But off topic a little bit. So that's one way to know, is to just come out and ask them if they're there. The second way is to look at your other animal companions. If you've got other animals who share your home, you may notice cats and dogs in particular will look off into the corner of a room, or we'll look into a part of the room and stare intently at something that we don't see. We're like, okay, there's nothing there. What is it that you're looking at up there? That is generally a sign that they see another animal who is not in a physical body. I mean, it's not a ghost, but they sense that energetic frequency of the animal who has crossed. And their range of senses is so different from ours, not to mention their mental interpretation. We overthink that. I mean, we would doubt it all the time that, okay, so I can't see a ghost. I've never seen a ghost. I can't see my pet right next to me. But our dogs are and cats are so sensitive, and they don't question, like they don't even second guess that they have just seen their an animal who used to share the home with them. There is a video, if you guys want to go back and watch it. It was called, I think it was called Video Reiki for Dogs, where I videoed a Reiki session that I was doing with three dogs that I was house sitting for. I'm back in the woods, in a cabin, in the mountains, three dogs, me and three dogs. And I have my eyes closed in a meditation. I just wanted to give you guys like a sample of what Reiki looked like when I share it with animals. And the dogs all of a sudden look off into the corner as if like there's something there. They are staring at the corner. And I didn't see any of this until after, when I'm looking at the video. I'm like, what do you think they were looking at? Well, duh, what do you think they were looking at? When I asked their mama, she let me know that she had recently lost a dog. And so those three dogs, I'm certain, were could see that other dog as we were doing the Reiki session. But anyway, neither here nor there. Look to your other pets who may also be able to guide you about whether or not they're visiting you, because the answer is an easy yes. Easy yes. Okay, so then comes the more difficult question. Do our pets plan their crossing? Do all pets plan crossing? Do all animals plan crossings? Does it just happen? How does that work? Okay, so I'm going to tell you, I'm going to take this from a couple different directions, but here's the first thing. They don't dwell on it. They don't even think about it. It's not something that crosses their mind. They don't sit and watch TV so that they can learn about the latest veterinary medication that will help prolong their little lives. They trust us to care for that part of their physical and medical needs, but they don't think about it one little bit. They don't dwell on it. They don't wish that, wow, if I could have just caught one more mouse, or I would have loved to throw that ball or catch that ball one more time. Does not even cross their mind. So that's one thing. We as human beings are so focused, and I know people are going to like cringe at this, but we are so focused on death and the word dead and deceased, and everything that we do is about avoiding death. I would just love for us to let that go the way our animals do. How beautiful just to be able to live our lives, just to have fun and love and enjoy and be, and not be thinking all the time about what could possibly end us. Yeah, okay, so that's a bit of a downer thought. So let's step away from that thought for a minute, even though I would love to change the narrative around that. And I think that our animals are helping us. And I think that part of the reason they come through to me with these messages is to help us change that narrative, is to help shift the way we think about our own transition and the fact and wondering whether or not there's an afterlife. I can tell you that no animal ever questions that either. No animal says, I wonder if I'm going to heaven. I wonder if I've done enough to get into heaven. Am I going to hell? That they don't think about any of that, guys, none of it, because their life is so pure and just so natural, and it's the way that it should be. Anywho, so what else goes on? So I'll tell you about cats first. Mostly I'm going to stick with cats and dogs for this part of the story. So this is where Peti comes in as well. So first of all, for Peti in particular, Peti did not give death a second thought. And I just get the sense that Peti's death was very natural. But that's the sense that I get for that. Cats, when it is time for them to cross, if we aren't assisting them, I'll get to that in a sec. Cats tend to hide. They're crossing. They recognize when it's about to happen. Not that they would say, "Oh, please don't let it happen. I want to sit," but they feel it in their spirit and their body. They get a sense of when it is their time, and they generally like privacy. So they will either hide or they run away. So they really want privacy, and they'll run out of the home. And this, of course, brings a whole level of guilt to people that the cats that I have connected with, that's the one thing, if they could change, they would. They're the ones who, in that case, ask for forgiveness, because they don't mean to hurt us. They don't mean to distress us. It's just that crossing for them, and whether we use the word crossing or transition, I like the word ascension. When it's time for them to cross, it's a very private act for them. And so they will often leave to be on their own as that crossing happens. It's not meant to deprive us. I know Winston, who was a dog, but my Winston crossed without me when I thought we had a deal. I came home one day after being gone for just 2 hours. I came home and he had crossed without me, and I was hurt because I thought that he would allow me that gift of sitting in my lap and letting me be there with him. But that's not the way he chose to go. And for dogs, it oftentimes just happens. It's like that. It's done. They don't even recognize that there's been a transition. One minute they were in their body, the next minute they aren't. And it doesn't give them any fear. It doesn't give them any grief. They're not all of a sudden, oh God, how do I get back into my body? No, it doesn't work like that either. It's just a natural thing for them. One minute they were there and the next minute they weren't. I know that's what happened with Winston. And when Winston transitioned, all of a sudden he realized I got this message from him too. I can hear, because he was deaf. I can hear, I can hear. And I got this picture of birds and seagulls and yeah, little beach birds, those little tiny things that flutter all on the beach and then take off. Anyway, so they don't, sometimes it just happens for them. Dogs will sometimes test the waters. I witnessed this with Lucy. I also witnessed it with one of my clients, Jake. I've seen it many times, where dogs will, as their time is approaching, it's almost like they come and go. They'll be in a state of where it looks almost as if they have gone. So they're not present. Their mind is not there. Their body is there. They still have respiration. They still have a heartbeat, but their mind is not there. And from Jake is the one who really gave me this sense that he would just leave and go explore what it was like on the other side. And then since his body was still not quite gone, he would come back. And then all of a sudden he was awake. And Lucy would do the same thing. So it's almost like they test the waters. And again, they don't have all the thoughts that we go through. They're there and then they're not. And then they're on the other side having fun and then they're back in their body. And it's all perfectly natural to them. We are the ones who turn it into a big hairy deal. And they don't think about it that way at all. The other thing about dogs that just came up with me with Jake. What are you trying to tell me, buddy? Again, they don't want to hurt us. They don't want us to feel that we're doing something wrong, or because they're just exploring. And then comes the question of assisting with their transition, assisting with their ascension, helping them. We rack ourselves with guilt when we make a decision to assist an animal as they ascend or transition across, whatever you want to say. And we don't have to worry about that. They don't even think about that either. So they don't cross to the other side and then be like, well, why did you do that? I still had 2 more years left. It doesn't happen. You can relax about that. You can let all of those questions go. The literally hundreds of animals that I have been able to connect with, there is not a single one who has not returned to a place of pure positive love. They become the God force. They become that, they go back to divinity. They become pure, perfect souls. And there is no, not only is there no, not only do they not carry a grudge on the other side, they step into such a higher version of themselves in such an amazing way. That's why I like to call it ascension, because they become multi-dimensional. They can be here, they can be there, they can decide if they want to come back, they can play, they can do whatever they choose. And they have the ability to do that while still connecting with us. I know we have no words to describe it, because our own human brains can't seem to wrap our mind around this possibility. But there is no, don't hold yourself responsible. If you have chosen to assist your beautiful animal companion during a time of such a physical state that they were in pain or anguish, and we don't want to see our animals like that. And so I will not ever, ever, ever judge another human being for the way that they choose to live with their animal and the way that they choose to whether or not to assist with their animals crossing. You'll see all kinds of stuff. You can just go out there and search online and you'll find things. people judging other people for the way that they not only live with their pets, but whether or not they chose euthanasia or didn't, or let them suffer. Or, I'm sorry, guys, I won't do that. I trust that you and your animal companion and your veterinarian, if you have one, make the best possible decision that you can at that moment in time. There are some of you who have reached out and talked about feeling pressured into euthanasia. I would say don't let anybody pressure you into a decision that you're not ready to make. But with that said, if it's an event that happened in the past, you can let it go. You are forgiven. You are the only person who needs to forgive anybody. Forgive yourself. I've done a video. Can I point on the right side? Yeah, there we go. Forgive your veterinarian. There's not a veterinarian that I know of in this whole wide world who would purposely encourage a medical treatment that didn't make sense. They want the best for your pets as much as you do, and they do the best they possibly can, just like you, the best they possibly can with what they have at that moment in time. So please don't hold yourself guilty. Please don't hold yourself in a state of not being able to forgive yourself or the others who were involved with the decision making with your animal. All right. That's, I think, the questions that I have for now. This probably raises more as many questions as it answers. So if you have questions, continue to send them. I'm happy to do readings. I'm happy to share with you everything that animals share with me. If you want to dive into this deeper and learn how to do some of this yourself, whether it's connecting with animals on the other side or learn to have a better relationship with your animal here, or if you've got an animal companion who is who has a terminal illness or a chronic illness, and you want to be able to help, reach out to me. The Reiki classes are awesome. I do them for don't have to have any experience whatsoever, or join the School of Animal Mystics. We meet every single Friday, a great group of people, and we talk. We go way down the rabbit hole with this stuff. So if you're interested, I put that link in the description. Otherwise, until the next time, may the animals light your way. Take care. Bye.